Happy Wednesday. You are on the Heart of Success show, and I'm your host, Larissa Vakulina. I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Adelaide time zone. And here on this show, I'm sharing with you different tips, tools, methods, motivation, and inspiration. How can you create success in all areas of your life? If you remember, the whole month of March is dedicated for me to feature and celebrate powerful women. Today, I'm having a very special guest with me, Rina Mittiga. She is an international motivational speaker. She's holistic business strategist, performance and productivity coach, and she is just a powerful woman. She is a library of knowledge. She's having a unique experience of how she is following her heart. And today I really would like to invite women to join us in our conversation to see how Rina was moving from corporate world into her heart calling. She's been in beauty industry for more than 30 years, and she has combined all of this knowledge of the beauty, but she also realized that the external beauty of different remedies and things that we use to beautify ourselves is not complete without the inner beauty. And that's what Rina is now focusing on. And welcome, Rina. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation today to share your story, to share your very inspirational and motivational journey. So I'm just giving floor to you. I would like to ask you where it all started. How did you realize that the beauty out here is not really the full representation of who we are, and how sometimes we covering up our essence and our light by just simply beautifying external layer of who we are. Okay, thank you, Rina.
Well, hello, Larissa. It's lovely to be here. That was such an introduction. Wow, thank you. But yes, all very true. I have been in the beauty industry for over 30 years. And, my interest in beauty started when I was 16, 17, using skincare. And I always knew that I wanted to study beauty therapy and also be able to be of service to women. And, beauty is very much, as they say, in the eyes of the beholder. And it has been very much an external, we apply a lot of makeup, we wear nice clothes. A lot of the time it's for other people. And over the years, as I've matured and as I've grown into myself, I'm realizing that it has nothing to do with the products or the makeup or what we put on ourselves externally. True beauty comes from our soul. It's that woman or man that walks into a room that just has that inner confidence that, your head turns, think, wow, who is that? And they may not have any makeup on. They may be at a supermarket or online, which is a lot of the time we tend to see people that we would never have met in the world online. But it's just that it's that inner essence.
Yes.
It's that confidence.
Yes. You see, it's like we live in one common shared quantum field, and sometimes we just meet people by touching that field, and we know this is beauty within that system, that energy consciousness system. And you, more than anyone else, know how that works, right? Because you went yourself to recognize that the external beauty is not complete. It's not enough to actually shine that frequency, that vibration of the beauty. I'm just so excited to keep listening to you, because it's an amazing realization and insight of itself for you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Particularly for someone who's been in corporate for, as I said, over 35 years. And it was always, I'm corporate, I've spoken, I've coached, I've sold, I teach selling, I taught beauty. And the realization over the years that there is no quick fix, there's no quick injection, you can't take a pill, you can't just use products to look differently. It is, yes, it will beautify the shell. I mean, in the end, we are, as you said, we are energy, and we are affecting, everything is energy, and we are affecting all energy, and we are in a suit, a skin suit. So it doesn't matter what you do to that skin suit to get rid of wrinkles, to put the makeup on. If your energy, if it's not shining from within, then it doesn't last. And as I said, it took me a long time to realize that. And in the last few years, what has become apparent, I've worked with different mentors and different teachers, and they've all said to me, you're a healer. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm corporate. I work in corporate. I wear my suits. I go out and sell. I go out and train. I'm not a woo-woo healer. And the funny thing is, I actually studied Reiki about 30 years ago when my first son was a baby. He used to get, well, not a baby, a young boy, he used to get night terrors, and I didn't know how to look, to help him. And he'd be standing over me over the bed with these wide eyes, and I'd try and talk to him, and I realized he's still sleeping. So I actually learned Reiki, and that was the only thing that I was able to calm him down with. And then as I was doing hands-on beauty back then, I would actually incorporate that naturally and give my clients Reiki during a facial or during a massage session, and they would all fall asleep. So I had the healing of hands already. Yes. And then over the years, I, pushed it aside, discounted it, and I went on with my corporate life and training and teaching. And then only in the last few years where I have practiced different modalities of healing, and I've really come to understand that beauty it's holistic. It's not just the external. It's the energy. It's your mindset. It encompasses all of the being, all of the soul. And truly, when you are confident and when you have that inner beauty, that inner shine, you radiate, and there's no need for makeup. You can actually, I believe, you can actually reverse age, and that you can, energetically, you can slow down age in your skin and in your body and in your cells. I mean, our cells are completely reinventing themselves and reborn constantly. The same with our skin.
Absolutely. See, this is really amazing. I love these talks because I really believe myself that we are absolutely capable to reverse our time, to reverse our aging, because yes, the cells are constantly regenerating, but also just some recently over the past 5-7 years, there's so many scientific discoveries of how our biochemistry is altering and changing to actually, to be adjusted to that new influx of the energy that is planetary energy, which is absolutely different. So our Earth is vibrating now much higher, from 7.8 hertz to 34 hertz. So obviously the quantum change and transformation is happening, and now we are equipped. Our cells are now equipped. I've heard there is a term called centrosoma that is in the middle of our cell, that is actually vibrating light. And a lot of discoveries by different scientific fields really don't have explanation for it right now. So, but that's what we intuitively know, and that's what we feel. And like, I so agree with you, Rina, that it is up to us to start to recognize who we are and how we can actually start to have these abilities to become beautiful inside out, right? So
Absolutely. And, if we look at, you're talking about the central soma of the cell. So when we talk about beauty, the heart, the motor of a cell is called the mitochondria, and it's the powerhouse. It energizes the cell. And from an energetic healing point of view, it's also, once you can actually energize and work on the mitochondria, and you can lengthen the telomere, which is responsible for how many times a cell can reproduce before it dies. So you can absolutely affect the energy of a cell that affects your whole body and all of your body processes and aging. So, that is something that I'm delving a lot deeper into, and that I want to share, because it's a holistic approach. It's all about energy. It's about mindset. It's about strategy, all combined with beauty. It's not just an external facade. It's not just looking beautiful on the outside, because when all parts of the whole are working in synergy with each other, then the result is far better.
Absolutely. Rina, when I actually was, having your profile and reading about you, and also I was intrigued a little bit by the name of our show, so the space in between. I really would like you to maybe tell us a little bit more about it. It's an interesting name.
It is, and it's a place that I have been in for a long time. The space in between my corporate life, transitioning into energy and working with energy and more of a holistic approach. And it's basically, one identity has to die before the other identity is born. And, it was like, I don't know who else I am. I've been corporate for 30 odd years, 35 years. Who am I if I'm not corporate? How can I exist? And so it was so much soul searching and working with mentors. And once I delved deeper into more energetic healing modalities and learnt more, it's a very uncomfortable place. And most of us are not willing to step into that space. A lot of people will call it the dark night of the soul.
Yes. It's just so resonate with me because I went through the same process, right? It's like, being running very demanding, stressful business, and then like, just stop and ask yourself a question: who am I? Why I am doing it? It's like it's not mine. I don't belong to these things, and it is really challenging, very hard place to be in. But at the same time, a lot of people are sensing it, and they put in toe into that water, and they contract back. They're not really wanting to go into that water. Well, this is really a settle. It's a lost. It's a it's a lost course, because the reward of going through that water is enormous, so enormous. So yeah, I also read that you have this theta healing modality. Can you maybe explain a little bit more? So you've been feeling that being in the corporate world is really, kind of not really suitable for
Not
you,
satisfying.
not satisfying, not fulfilling. And then, of course, you mentioned the dark night of the soul. So if you can just eventuate on this a little.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I was questioning, there's got to be more. There's got to be more than to this. Why am I not happy? Why am I not feeling fulfilled? I've had such a successful career. I've helped so many women and businesses to succeed, but I just felt this emptiness inside. I just, who am I? What am I here for? There has to be more to life than this. And that was a question that I, asked myself so many times. And it was interesting that the people that were meant to come into my path or show up for me did. And so I started working with healers. And so with the theta healing, people would just show up into my feed, and I would follow them and stalk them and listen to their masterclasses. And I thought, this sounds so interesting. I'm going to have a treatment. And so I had a theta healing session, which is essentially it is an energetic, there are so many different modalities of energy healing, but it's basically about going into a theta brainwave state where we can access the subconscious mind, because 90% of our life is actually directed and guided by our subconscious mind that we're not aware of, and 5% of our conscious thought is what we're thinking and acting on. And a lot of the time we don't know the beliefs that we absorb for the first 7 years of life. We're like a sponge. Children absorb everything they see, what they hear from their parents, they hear at school, the radio, the TV. We absorb everything. And some of those beliefs, if they're tied to an emotion, become a belief that is part of our operating system. And we don't know why we are continually repeating that same pattern, because consciously you could believe, there could be a subconscious belief that I'm not worthy of having money, but consciously you think, I do want money, I love money. But it's the subconscious belief that is running your life, and you see the same pattern emerging. So after I had my first session with the coach, she cleared so many beliefs that I was not even aware that I had, and my life changed dramatically. It's like, oh my God, I was like 5 when that happened, and I hadn't thought about it since. And it was interesting, and I sort of followed her, and I did a few short courses, and then I decided that I wanted to add this to my toolkit and help my clients. I was still in the space in between, thinking, now what do I do? I'm going to start to study some modalities that resonate with me.
Yeah.
And that was one of them that I studied, which is a very fast and quick way to clear limiting beliefs, because you don't have to stay in trauma for years. Healing can be quick if you decide that it is. It can be painless if you decide that it is. And so that's how I added the theta healing to my modality. And in my coaching, it's it's quite often finding out what's the core belief that is holding this particular person back in her success. And as I said, most of the time they don't know it's there. So it's the combining the holistic approach to business.
Absolutely. Wow, that's an amazing journey. I mean, we all have our own stories, but really, moving from this corporate world into this healing is really a journey of great honoring yourself. It's a great way to really hear what your heart is telling you. And this is beautiful, because a lot of people are concealing, like they having this, a habit of concealing what the heart is calling, and they keep it secret. They suppressing it. And then, of course, all of this energy of the heart that is constantly knocking and not having any reply from the person, well, then it manifested as a disease, as a crisis of all types, the professional crisis, the relationship crisis, wherever the crisis is, we are creating ourselves, because the universe is offering the event, and it's up to you, as you said, to choose. It's up to you what you're going to say, in a connection with yourself, right? That intuitive impulse of, feeling through, not thinking through. That's how I right. And amazing. So I also read that you are creator of the global luxury mastermind and the beauty coach. But before that, I read somewhere that you are a founder of the Global Luxury Institute. Can you just tell us a little bit more about what is the Global Luxury Institute and your, mastermind programs and your unique, authentic signature creations that you actually offer in your clients?
Yes, well, the Global Luxury Institute was launched as a platform for women in business, in the beauty industry, the wellness industry, really anyone who wants to succeed, move to another level, and also be with community with other women who are on that same path. And the interesting thing is, when I first launched it, it resonated. I wasn't quite fully into my healer archetype. And so since then, I've decided, you know what, it's not just about teaching someone how to run a beauty business or how to run a wellness business. It's the holistic approach. So in that, it is a community for like-minded women to share ideas, but who want to approach their business from a holistic point of view. So it's not just about strategy. It is also about mindset. It is also about belief work. It's also about sharing ideas and sharing ways to do business without hustle. Hustle has gone. Hustle is such an old modality, an old way of doing business. It's now about attracting. It's, energetically attracting your clients, like-minded people. And you can only do that when you yourself are confident, when you are clear, and when you are not in scarcity or fear that your business is not making money. So that's what I've created. So it is actually in a process of a bit of change as well, where I'm taking the business more into a holistic approach and not so much beauty, external beauty focus, but more about the internal, but also giving back to the community and just wanting to really help particularly young women to realize their impact, that they don't have to rely on a man to save them, that they can be financially secure and they can be financially strong. It's not an easy path. And many times I just wanted to give up and thought, why am I doing this? But the most important thing is I had support from different people, mentors, healers. You can't do it on your own. And, I want to be able to share that. I want to give back and, help particularly women to really succeed, because it's our birthright to be abundant and successful.
Absolutely. See, I really resonated, because you see, like, we are actually now entered already a time where
Yes.
this is, I'm quoting myself from my book. We entering the time where there's nothing non-divine. So everything is divine now. So we now need to catch up with the new vibrations.
Yes.
And start to really recognize and accept our true multidimensional nature, so that we all started to have this sense of seeing, hearing, feeling different dimensions. So we are start to open up our consciousness and awareness to the presence of the different frequencies that in the past we couldn't do that, right? So now we all in that. We already in a transformational mode. We are all going through that, because that, as you said, you are soul alchemist and a healer. So the alchemy of our cells is changing, and alchemy of our biochemistry is changing. And that's why we start to really have these insights. We have this awakening happening. We have this almost like surreal visions, or all of these things is a part of this transformation that we're all going through. And I believe that the more people like you, more women, especially women, because women, for some reason, they too much self-criticizing, they too much of thinking how they not good enough and they not intelligent enough, or things like that. And of course, if you're doing this and I'm doing the same things with a different angle and approach, so we are widening this field of the awakened consciousness, and we helping these women to become a evolved soul leaders, like you said it here, like you are becoming a soul leader from just being a leader in the sense of the traditional conservative way, right? You
Yes.
know, not only the leader of the business, but also holistic business and becoming a soul leader. Can you maybe explain a little bit more again about all of these processes that happen
Mm.
in your life, and how you how you you know, have this how do you surround yourself with
Mm.
the right frequencies, the right people, how that happening?
Yes, yes. Yes, and that's so important because when I first started to awaken or, realize the universe was talking louder and louder and louder, and I couldn't, I couldn't
Yes.
not hear it any longer. I needed to listen. And it
Mm.
was in the beginning, as I said, it was very difficult because your family, they
Mhm.
start to feel the shift and the changes. And the first thing that we want to do is change them as well.
Mm.
Change my husband, change my boys, because I'm feeling so good. I want to change. I want everyone to change. And it doesn't work. It does not
No.
work. So it took me a long time to realize that we all have our own soul path. We all have our own lessons. We all have a journey. And so in the beginning, they felt threatened, not because I was doing anything, but because they felt the shift. And that,
Mm.
like, as humans, our brain is wired to keep us safe. That's the reptilian brain.
That's it.
It's, if there's any fear, it keeps us safe and small. And so they felt the change. And so, it was just a matter of talking and doing my thing. I just concentrated on doing my work. And,
Mhm.
as I said, a lot of the mentors that I had at the time really helped me with that. Reading, I began daily rituals. So now meditation is the number one thing that I do before I start my day. I wake
Mhm.
up, I have my water with lemon, and I meditate because it's my time, it's my space. And if I haven't been able to do that, my whole
Mhm.
day
Yeah.
just is out of
Yes.
control. It's out of control because I'm dealing with different people, different energies all the time.
Mhm.
And a lot of it is your mindset as well. I mean, we can definitely get caught up in someone else's negative energy or go down a rabbit hole and you just spiral and it affects you. Like, I mean, I'm not perfect all the time. Everyone has bad days and everyone gets affected, depending on what's going on cosmically or with people around you. But the important thing that I found, and sort of the profound moment, was realizing that I am responsible for what is going on in my life. So if something is being reflected back to me from a family member, from a work colleague, it's like, okay, so that must be in me. What am I trying to heal or clear? I'm mirroring that. So that
Absolutely.
was one of the most important steps, that I started to look at myself and take responsibility for how my life is, and not
Mhm.
blaming the government,
That's
my
it. Yeah.
family, the shop owner. It's like, okay, what's going on here? And that was
Mhm.
a real big shift in how I live my life. And as I said, I just allow people now to follow their path, and I follow my
Absolutely.
path, and
Yes.
that's all you can do. But that was one of the biggest lessons I
Yeah.
needed to learn.
Yes, see, this is really important, guys. You know,
Mm.
how many times we talk about take your own responsibility. Like,
Yeah.
it's your life. You are creator of your life. And if you keep looking or pointing finger at someone else, or pointing
Mm.
finger at your loved ones, or at someone who you don't know, but you still pointing finger, then of course your life gonna be controlled and manipulated by others, because you giving
Yes.
away that power of really working with yourself. And now there's no way that we cannot not to do our inner work. Otherwise
Mm.
it's staying and clinging to this old paradigm or old energy is actually quite harmful. And it is
Yes.
in a sense is dangerous, because it's a matter of safety now. If you want to keep that your body in this expression of yourself right now, you need to start to do your inner work. So that's given. And so yeah, it's fascinating, and it's really amazing how we all popping up from all of this I say it, a social construct. So we
Yes.
start to get out of that social construct, and we start to take that power back into ourselves, so that no one can actually control and manipulate us, right? Because
That's
what
exactly right.
around us right now
Mm.
is absolute mess that we
Yes.
need to
Yes.
clear up. So
And you mentioned, before you go on, Larissa, you mentioned earlier about the role of women and how we feel, we feel inferior, and we're not strong, and we just sort of do what is expected of us. And that in itself, I mean, this is such an old paradigm, but it goes back thousands of generations, because it's how women have been conditioned and treated as a second class citizen. So this stays in the collective consciousness of women, but it also stays in our subconscious. So it's a very difficult pattern. I mean, it can be cleared, but this is one of the reasons why women don't stand up, don't claim their power, and don't claim their success, because
that's
of
it.
the way, if we think back into, if you believe in the Garden of Eden, where God created man and then created woman in his image, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's, like, I mean, I don't believe in that, but that
Yeah.
is, a thought out there. But if you look at all the civilizations, going back to, the Neanderthal men, it's ingrained in our cells, in our DNA, in our morphogenetic field that surrounds our cell, that has all of those beliefs. So no wonder women feel like they
That's
can't
it. Yeah.
achieve. It's in the
But
consciousness.
no one really kind of consider it as a simple lie, right? Because it's a
Absolutely.
social construct. It's a lie, but
Yes.
of course it was implemented aeons ago on the field, and then of course the collective field is
Yep.
kind of almost accepted it, and
Mm.
it's almost crystallized in our energy consciousness system, and we keep devaluing ourselves, we keep
Yes.
criticizing, we keep punishing ourselves, all unconsciously. Consciously we of
Yes.
course want that, like you explained, unconsciously, but this is silent saboteurs of our
Yes.
success and our growth. And
Mm.
this is really important, that we as a women unite, and anyone who is resonating with Rina or with me or with some other
Mm.
powerful, beautiful healers and women that are doing their own heart calling. So that's how we can actually help each other, and we can pass
Mm.
on this, this almost like unpeeling and undoing
Yes.
and reprogramming all of these lies that we've been living for so long, right? And I'm really excited that the more and more women started to understand and realize, and they want to start to do the inner work. So
Yes.
I also wanted to ask you, there is a somewhere, yeah, here you said on your profile that you run in some luxurious retreats in luxurious
Yes.
places around the world, and I really would like to maybe touch on that, so that people know
Mm.
that if they want to really have some time away, and some, not just time to rest and on holiday, but also have that time effectively spent with Rina, so that
Yes.
she can really help you to dive into all these issues that we are speaking right now, almost half an hour. So, if you explain a little bit about this part of what you offer.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the plan was, to offer it, and then we had a pandemic which sort of shut down the world. And so I have offered local in Adelaide-based retreats, but my intention and my plan is to be able to take that retreat model that I've initiated locally into various parts of the world where, you're completely pampered. It's about healing yourself. It's about being nurtured. It's about self-care, but also with a component of, business strategy. So it's bringing like-minded women together to just breathe, just be with themselves, and to heal and to create a strategy for the next version of themselves. That is my plan, in beautiful, luxurious locations around the world, with particular, Ibiza is one of my plans, to have one in Ibiza, to have one in, France. But that's definitely on the table. But we had to pivot and change. And of course, I've had one at Ascara, which was absolutely amazing. So
thank you for initiating that, and that was really an honor for me also to host Rina with her ladies, women who are been really tapping into that inner work, and it's an honor to be chosen to be your offering facility and a place where this could be some grounding and energy of the harmony and support your process of in the place where it is all connected and aligned. Thank you.
The women, they had such amazing awakenings and also healings, and it was just a short retreat, and many of them had not been on a retreat before. Some of them had been on a retreat, and they all said like that was the best retreat that we've ever had. The shifts that they had, the healings that they didn't even know that they needed. It was just total feminine healing, bonding, just talking, self-care time. It was amazing.
Really, really cool. Yes, that was amazing for me to host you with your clients. Now, Rina, I know we talk about it over and over again, and I know how many women right now around the world are struggling. How many women right now around the world struggling with meeting their financial needs, meeting their emotional needs, meeting their mental needs, and all of needs. And all of this struggle is really not necessary. And there are some tools and tips, little tips that people can actually use, basically, right now, like in a moment, that this method could help straight away to take women from the space of that fractured mental thoughts that are not supportive, from this reactive emotional triggered feelings that are not helpful as well. So what 3 tips could you recommend to women that are now struggling with anything in their life, so that they can actually just to help them at least a little bit to go on and to keep going?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something that I, personally experienced. And, I suppose the first tip would be, there's a lot of free resources, particularly on YouTube, with meditations or EFT. I found EFT very helpful in helping to shift patterns. The other tip is, don't give up just because you've done it once or twice. If it's a particular meditation, and meditation doesn't mean sitting there for half an hour in the lotus position. Meditation can be simply walking in nature and just observing, not with your phone, observing the colors, observing nature, just being quiet with yourself. And that is the hardest thing that people don't want to do. Because when they're quiet with their thoughts, they start to think. But don't give up. A little bit I just started with 5-minute meditations every day, guided meditation, just a free meditation on YouTube. And then I gradually moved up. So now I do about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on how much time I have. So definitely free resources if you don't have the capacity to invest in an energy healing session or a coach. Definitely that's where I started. The second thing, which, when this was said to me, it's like, I don't want to hear that. Don't think negative thoughts, or don't continually thinking, I don't have enough money. When you don't have enough money, that's all you think about. I don't have enough money. I don't have a job. No one loves me. It's very difficult to get your head out of that and think the opposite thought. But it is vital. It is vital. Our mind has the ability to control our body and our physiology. And once we get stuck in a cycle, it just spirals down. So the second tip I would say is start to be conscious of your thoughts. We have thousands of thoughts a day. Most of them we're not conscious of. If you can write them down, if you can catch 5 or 6, just write them down. And you'll find that as you're tracking your thoughts, then start to change the language. Instead of saying, if someone invites you out to dinner on a holiday, instead of saying, I can't afford that, say, I'm choosing not to invest in that right now. That's giving yourself power, because you're choosing not to pay for that. It's not, I can't afford it. Your body just sinks when you say that. So choosing your words, just mindful of your thoughts. Mindfulness is so important. So that would definitely be the second tip. And the third tip I would say would be, if you are able to work with someone, with a mentor, with a coach, just to help, that would definitely be helpful with you. But also, if you can't, and you may have heard this many times, just write a daily gratitude list. It can be as simple as 5 things. I'm grateful, that I woke up today. Thank you for the gift of this new day. Thank you for the sun. It doesn't have to be material things. Thank you for my health. And in the beginning, once again, you may just think this is just silly, it's not doing anything. But, it takes at least 21 days to create a new habit. Have a book and just write at the end of the day or the first thing, because it will change your physiology. It'll change how you feel. And when you go back and read that list, you'll sort of think, wow, some people have not woken up today. Some people don't have electricity. Some people don't have a bed to sleep in. Very simple things. So be grateful for what you have in your life. And that also changed a lot of my thinking.
Absolutely. It's just simple tips that anyone can use any moment. It's amazing. I mean, there's many different tips. Like for me, notice what you notice, right? It's like you deepen your awareness, and then you are you kind of, you can choose. You can choose. And also, there's a very well-known method of a mirror. Basically, you just every morning in a mirror, you just you greet yourself with joy, and you tell yourself, you love yourself. I love you, right? That sounds kind of silly. Sometimes people are laughing at this method, but it really works. It's like reprogramming your habitual defenses that you created for eons, and it demolecularizing all of these, substances and energy conglomerates of this, protective survival mechanism, and start to help you to move your energy, and fluidity of your energy activates your creativity, and then you start to feel much better. So
absolutely, your brain will actually, mind believes what you tell it. It doesn't know the difference between a story and the truth. So what you tell your mind and your brain, your body will start to believe.
it. Yep,
So
absolutely.
tell it a good story. And the other thing I just want to add before we finish up
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
a lot of the things that we discussed, it is about choice, but sometimes people don't even want to choose to do something, but not choosing is also a choice.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. I really would like to display right now Rina's all the contacts. This is her phone number. This is her website. I looked at it. It's beautiful. There's a lot of information, a lot of offers that are really, really amazing. I really would like you to go and visit her website. And if you really need some assistance in what Rina was telling you, and she's really a great great resource and a great support if you really serious about how you building your life, how you building your business, how you perceiving yourself as a leader. Rina is the right person to connect and right person to be able to be supported by. And I'm really grateful for Rina to be here today with me and all my listeners and whoever is going to listen later and reply on YouTube or LinkedIn and all the other platforms. Really would like you to connect to Rina. So I would like to say thank you so much again, everyone who was here. And Rina, I'll come back on next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Adelaide time. Possibly it's going to be a solo next week, but also I have a line of amazing women and men as well as a guest, my special guest. So stay tuned in and let's listen a little bit of music.